The only reason I'm doing it this way, I don't know. I have no idea why I did it this way. I've never done it before.
Hi, I'm Frank. I'm a professional chef, and these are my $412 steak dinner ingredients.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo. I'm a home cook, and these are my $29 steak dinner ingredients.
Hurts every single time, right here.
Why? I mean, every time.
As always, I can make this work.
It's so much stuff. It's so much stuff, Frank.
So I had planned on making a chateaubriand with a tarragon béarnaise, cream spinach, and pomme boulangère.
Is this French?
That is a lot of French. Let me break it down for you. I had a beautiful cut of meat, a chateaubriand. It's a large piece of meat from the center of the tenderloin. It's the priciest piece of the cow.
Wow, that's a wonderful cut of meat.
I was gonna whip up a tarragon béarnaise sauce made with fresh tarragon, tarragon vinegar, and a splash of vermouth.
Ugh, vermouth.
For the side, I had honey gold potatoes.
I like these potatoes.
All ready to make a pomme boulangère. And finally, for a touch of green, I had some fresh spinach, aged Parmesan, and creme fraiche to make a creamy spinach.
I am opting out.
With Lorenzo's ingredients, we have things that are a little simpler. Something you'd find in your pantry or your local supermarket. With a little technique and a splash of love, we're gonna make it even better.
Chef Frank, I thought we were friends.
If I had to guess, I'd say this cost about $35, $37. Oh, $29, really? Okay.
If I had to guess, $325? $412? Hey, might as well. This is Chef Frank's recipe book. In the garbage. No, just kidding. I do have some instructions. First things first, let's start with the steak.
So Lorenzo, the first thing you need to do is prepare your chateaubriand. Basically, I'm giving you a whole filet mignon. You have to trim off any chains, trim off both ends, and trim off some silver skin. The silver skin is some connective tissue that is super tough. You gotta make sure you get under it with a knife and kind of like shave along so you don't get too much meat with it.
Okay, be careful not to move a lot of meat because that was wrong. I am slicing off the tenderloin tip. I have to do the same here on this side. It just looks expensive.
Filet mignon is the most expensive and most tender cut of meat you can buy. The chateaubriand is the best part of that filet mignon. Basically, it comes from the inside of the cow and the back of the animal. The muscle doesn't get a lot of use, so it's super tender and soft.
Okay, I'm in the next part of prepping my chateaubriand. I stole this from my cat.
So Lorenzo, what you're gonna do is tie it with some butcher twine so that the roast is nice and evenly sized, right? It's gonna cook even that way. It's gonna look a lot better as well.
Not bad, right? I must season it before I sear it. I have one of my favorite things that I've learned here is to use tallow.
I gave you beef fat because that's gonna add to the richness and the beefy flavor of the steak.
Ready, here we go. Brown is important, not gray. I have to do the ends as well. Ooh, chihuahua.
Once we get that nice brown exterior, we're gonna add some butter, we're gonna add some garlic and thyme to the pan, just to add to that richness and flavor. At this point, the chateaubriand goes into the oven just to finish cooking. Lorenzo had planned on making a flank steak with a baked potato, some mushrooms, some onions. I'm gonna make a flank steak in duxelles roulade with mushroom butter and pomme d'arfan. So I have my dehydrator right here. I'm gonna take these mushrooms and turn them into my mushroom powder. I'm gonna use this mushroom powder throughout the whole dish, so it's a super important component. All I really gotta do now is slice our mushrooms. Mushrooms are mostly water, so these are gonna really shrink up to almost nothing. And what we're gonna do is take this tray, basically set it and forget it until those mushrooms are crisp and dry.
I am preparing my potatoes to transform miraculously into pommes boulangères.
Basically, pomme boulangère translates to bakery potatoes or the baker's potatoes.
Potatoes and butter, how can I go wrong? I have butter, I have a dish. I'm gonna butter the dish. Okay, now you, holy moly, I have to be very careful.
The main thing here to watch out for is when you're slicing those potatoes on the mandolin, don't cut your fingies.
Oh, I see, the pommes thing is a little safer. Ah, that is safer. I'll do one more and stop. 3 hours later.
It's been about 4 hours. My mushrooms are dehydrated. We can take them out. They have some snap to them. it's time to grind them into a powder. I like to use a coffee grinder for this, believe it or not. Lid on, now let it go. I got a little special jar here, and here's my dehydrated mushroom powder. I'm gonna use this throughout the dish, including the mushroom duxelles, which we're gonna make right now. Lorenzo gave me two types of mushrooms, a cremini and a white button mushroom. They're pretty much the same mushroom except for the color. These are something you don't want to throw away. Mushroom stems have a ton of flavor. I use them for stocks, sauces, fillings, and in this case, I'm gonna use it for something super special later. I'm gonna start out by pureeing my mushrooms for our filling. Let it go. So it's just starting to get to be a puree. It's getting a little liquidy, and that's what I want right here. And that's our mushroom puree for the filling.
Okay, I'm tired, but I think I have about 3 pounds all set. Next, I have to fry these up.
I have my mushroom puree. It's time to make the duxelles, or the stuffing for our roulade.
First things first, heat up the pan and add some tallow. So we'll be frying for some time. Salt and pepper first. So I'm adding leeks, the garlic, and then a little bit of thyme.
I'm gonna add my onions first. I'm gonna add a pinch of salt here. Our onions start to get a little soft. We can add our garlic, a little bit of pepper. They're smelling really good. I can add my mushrooms now. Try not to splash it all over yourself. No, this is not dog food. It is the food of the gods.
I'm gonna turn it off. Now I get to, shingle the potatoes in my casserole. I guess the bottom doesn't matter too much, but I might as well practice making it pretty.
I'm gonna add some more salt. I'm gonna add a little more pepper. So you can see that I'm getting a ton of moisture coming out, but it is gonna take about 45 minutes to cook down. Food is love, and sometimes good things take time. So our duxelles has been cooking for about 45 minutes. It's really nice and reduced down. There's no liquid. If I pull it away, you don't see any liquid weeping out, and that's what I want. It's gonna be a nice, rich mushroom flavor. Before I take it off and cool it, I'm gonna add a little bit of our mushroom powder that we made earlier. That mushroom powder is gonna dry it out just a little, and it's also just gonna amp up the mushroom flavor.
I have reached the finale of my frying of my potatoes. This is actually gonna be the last layer. I am shingling.
I'm gonna put it on here to cool. I'm gonna spread it out nice and thin. So I'm just gonna throw this in the fridge, let it cool completely before we can stuff our roulade.
Now I have heated veal stock, and I am supposed to pour this into this baking dish. I'm gonna add some pepper and some salt, and I'm going to dollop some butter. When you hear dollop, that's finger dollops. My potatoes are ready. I've covered it with aluminum foil. I'm going to put it in a 350 oven for, half an hour and see what happens. I think half an hour is safe, but we'll check on it, okay?
It's time to prepare the steak. Lorenzo gave me a flank steak. And what I'm gonna do with this flank steak is I'm gonna make a roulade. Flank steak's one of these cuts that could be really tough if you don't treat it right, but I think it's a wonderful piece of meat. I'm gonna open it up or butterfly it, pound it out lightly, and then we're gonna roll it up. And that's basically what a roulade is. It's a roll. All right, I think that's pretty good. It's nice and even. And so what I wanna do now is season up. We don't want it to go unseasoned. It's a piece of meat. It tastes good with salt and pepper. But we're also going to add some of our secret ingredient that we made earlier. It's gonna give a huge spike of umami to this. And now we can put our duxelles in. I know that it doesn't look great, but it has a ton of flavors. Here's the grain of the meat. I'm gonna roll this up, and that's our roulade. And what we do now is we're gonna get our butcher twine, pull it, not too tight, tie it up, get rid of your little ends. I'm gonna do about 4 or 5 of these. It doesn't need to be super tight. It just needs to hold everything together. We're tied up. My roulade is prepped and ready to cook.
Drum roll, please. Wow, it looks good. My Palmes Boulangère is fork tender. I'm gonna let it cool, and hopefully it settles and kind of stays compressed and nice.
It's been a lot of work, but we're finally here, and we're gonna cook this flank steak. Let's get some oil in the pan, and while that oil's in the pan heating up, add salt and pepper, and then we're gonna add a little bit of this secret ingredient, mushroom powder. Now the mushroom powder is gonna give us a little bit of color. It's also gonna give us a ton of flavor. We're gonna drop this in topside down. Just leave it alone, let it brown. We're gonna give it like a minute or two to get some color, and then we'll flip it on all sides. So you can see that it's seared off really nice. It's not finished cooking. We need to throw it in the oven for a little while to get a nice interior temperature of about medium rare.
I am making béarnaise sauce. What is béarnaise sauce?
Just a close cousin to a hollandaise. It's just flavored a little different, and it has some herbs folded in at the end. First thing you want to do for your béarnaise is get a reduction on. We're going to have some shallots, some vermouth.
Oh, God. It's good.
And some tarragon vinegar. We reduce that down so that we can add that to some egg yolks.
Well, looky there, absolutely reduced to almost nothing. A couple tablespoons of heavy cream, and I'm gonna strain it. I have to let this cool all the way through before I complete the béarnaise sauce.
Lorenzo gave me some russet potatoes, and instead of just making like a plain old roast or mashed potato, I'm gonna make pomme d'arfan. So basically what you do with the pomme d'arfan is you get potatoes, you peel them. You're gonna slice them into long matchsticks on the mandolin. We put them into a bowl with some butter and some salt and toss it together. And then what we're gonna do is cook it in a small frying pan and really kind of shove as many potatoes into the pan as possible. All those ends get tucked in. We can always drain excess butter off, but I do wanna get some nice buttery flavor in there. So I like to put a couple of dots on top. Now is the challenge to flip this baby, right? So this is what I do. I like to take a plate, put it on top, and flip it out. We have a nice brown on top, and then what we do is we try and really be careful to get it back into the pan. We want to continue to press down to make it a nice flat potato cake. Our pomme d'arfan is done. I'm going to put it onto this rack and just let it sit until we're ready to use it.
This is my reduced sauce that was cooled. 3 egg yolks, and I'm just gonna mix this together.
I'm using mushrooms a lot in this recipe. I happen to have a bunch of these leftover mushroom stems, and I'm gonna use them to make a jus, or a very light kind of brothy sauce for our roulade. I have a pot on kind of medium-high heat. I'm gonna add some oil to that pot, right? It's just a neutral oil. And then I'm gonna add my onions. Put a little salt, help draw out some moisture.
Now I'm gonna place you on my double boiler, and I'm gonna stream in my butter. I am basically emulsifying the butter into the egg yolks while cooking the egg mixture slowly. That looks good. It needs season though. I need some pepper and salt.
I can add my garlic, add my parsley stems, and then we can add all of the mushroom stems in. Because it's gonna be a finished sauce, I'm gonna add a little salt to it, I'm gonna add a little black pepper to it, and just a touch of that mushroom powder, just a touch more oil, and then we can add our water. And what I'm gonna do is let this come to a boil and then slowly simmer till it reduces at least by a half. When we reduce the volume of liquid, we're increasing the flavor of the actual liquid.
This is called a bain-marie, and I am going to strain my béarnaise sauce in this. So this container is actually gonna keep the sauce nice and warm. And what I'm gonna do is put it in a warm bath. I'm gonna finish seasoning it with a touch of lemon juice.
I reduced my jus down a little. It looks really good. I'm gonna hit it with a little salt and pepper right now. The jus is done. It's gonna be an amazing sauce for my roulade. So I've done a lot of mushrooms so far in this dish, but I do have one last mushroom thing to do, and that is a mushroom and garlic compound butter. It's simple, but it's gonna amp up that mushroom flavor that we're looking for. First step, we put our butter in the bowl. We're gonna take some chopped garlic. We're gonna add some black pepper, a nice pinch of salt, pop open our mushroom powder, give a nice amount of that mushroom powder in there, and give it a stir. I'm gonna get a nice piece of parchment paper. I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna kind of spread it out into a log. We take the parchment, fold it over the top. I'll take this tray, put my finger on the bottom piece of the parchment, and give it a squeeze. I'll do it one more time. Hold the bottom piece of the parchment, and push. Roll it up. Twist your sides. I like to go the opposite direction. One way this way, one way that way. And we have our log of mushroom butter. I'm gonna just throw this in the fridge and let it get solid.
We are at the cream spinach portion of the ingredients book. I am just gonna take this entire field of spinach and put it in the water.
We're blanching our spinach so that we can get most of the moisture out. After we blanch it, we're gonna ice it down till it's cold and then squeeze as much of that water out as possible. Once our spinach is squeezed out, it's time to make our cream spinach sauce.
Butter first. I can actually add the shallots in already. My garlic. I will do my cream cheese. This is creme fraiche. Now I am going to add my heavy cream. Do a little salt. Pepper.
Add our chopped spinach back in, and then right before we're finished, we'll add that Parmesan cheese.
Cream spinach. Voila.
So Lorenzo gave me some onions. I've decided that I'm gonna make fried onions. I'm just gonna start by putting some of the onions in. The onions have been in the oil for about 5 to 7 minutes. They're done. Get them out, and you wanna season them really well right now while they're sitting on the tray.
I am ready to take my chateaubriand out of the oven. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
A lot of times when you cook a piece of meat, the juices squeeze towards the center, and if you slice it right away, all the juice leaks out. If you let it rest, those juices redistribute and get you a nicer piece of meat.
I am just gonna let it rest, but I'm gonna do so with a little aluminum foil tent on it.
Once my roulade is done resting, it's time to plate. I have all my components out in front of me. The first thing I want to do is take my pomme d'arfin. I'm going to do 2 nice slices.
Why am I using a knife? I should have just grabbed scissors.
You can see that my roast has a really great shape to it because we tied it up.
Ah! No, just kidding. I am going to slice this up.
I think it's beautiful. The meat is lightly pink.
It looks so inviting.
You can see that mushroom kind of like spiral in the middle, and that's exactly what I wanted. Let's give this a few slices. Try not to crush it so that the mushrooms pop out. 2 nice slices.
My creamed spinach, I think I'll make a little halvesy circle here.
We don't want to cover up all the beautiful work we've done on the steak. So the sauce should just kind of go at the bottom of the meat.
I just want to show that there's tarragon in there. I've got my pomme boulangère. I like to put my potatoes on the plate and rest the steak up on the potatoes because we want to really show that beautiful cook on the meat. And this is my take on Chef Frank's steak dinner recipe.
I'm just gonna do a nice thin slice of the butter, cut this in half, and put just a little dollop there, a little dollop there, so it melts. Put a little of my mushroom jus right in the center here, some of our onions on top, and then we're just gonna take a couple of little parsley leaves and strategically place them around. That is my flank steak roulade with duxelles, mushroom butter, and pomme d'arfin.
I want to bite into it already. Let's get going. Chef, get in here. Chef,
hey, buddy. How you
what's
doing?
up, my boy?
Good seeing you.
Nice
oh my gosh.
to see you.
Ooh, look at that.
Beautiful. Oh my God.
I went a little crazy with this one. This looks spectacular. Look at that
Really?
cook. Lorenzo, can we try yours?
Absolutely.
We're going first.
Yes.
Let's go. This is a couple of biter, I think. I don't think we can get away with just doing one.
Okay, you twisted my arm.
Oh, dude. The cook on the filet is absolutely stunning and perfect. You can see it's pink all the way around. And the sauce, like look at the thickness and the coating ability of the sauce.
That's
Potatoes are amazing. We went classic French.
You went fancy.
Yeah, fancy French. We gotta stop eating because now we have to try my plate.
What?
Yeah, we gotta try my plate.
No, man.
I honestly
keep
think-
eating. I'll try yours, though. Can someone back this?
I know that it's a steak dish, but
Yeah.
it's mostly mushrooms. Do you want to give it a taste?
Yes. Okay. Oh, wow. That's so good. The combo is just over the top, delicious. One thing adds on and saturates the other.
And they
boom,
all
boom.
mesh
Totally.
and make something delicious.
Chef Frank Proto, gosh dang it, hit it out of the park. I love it.
Lorenzo, it's been amazing. I'm so happy that I got to not only just like meet you, become friends. I don't have any words. I'm out of words.
I'm gonna cry.
No crying.
Wait, I'm okay. That was so nice.
Wait, come on. Let's bring it in. Give me hugs, and then we'll have some champagne. You're a good man.
Woo!
Let's go.
Yeah! I don't know why I thought it was a beer, and I started chugging it. They're good old days.
For the good old days.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
That was fun.
That was really fun and delicious. Eat up, you guys.